I did this on Saturday just before the last one on how much investigation, how much protection. This one is abortion, men's bodies, and the GOP. I wrote this because it was marching day in Washington, and yeah, it's this is a natural progression. This is what I would have said if I had been invited. And why would I be invited? Because I've written books. I'm pretty much the foremost Catholic apologist for abortion. So, abortion rights, not abortion itself. I've written extensively on how the anti-choice movement is really about controlling female sexuality, their bodies, rather than protecting life, because they are unwilling to enact a decent minimum wage and child tax credit. To be adequate, such a credit would be high enough to end the need for child support. As I said in a I guess earlier recording of a later video. So it's about sex. It's about their bodies. It's not about protection in the unborn. This also affects men's sexuality and their bodies, as well as the economic rights of women. Unless a man is willing to work, they don't want him to have sex. The right wing does not want him to have sex. And if a man fathers a child, they insist that he work. Indeed, the child support system will jail him if he does not. So that's already a requirement. They want the man, the father, to work at the lowest possible wage that they can impose on him. They would not even have a minimum wage if they thought they had the folks, and that's the Republicans, of course. They certainly do not want fathers to have the rights of collective bargaining or rights in the workplace. They want people fired at will if possible. Their preference is no government interference in the workplace. As the capitalist workplace is authoritarian, men must comply or their children will starve. No child support, no eating. So, they want to hold people's feet to the fire by this is included in marriage when there's no child support. You either toe the line of capitalism, which is authoritarian, or hunger and homelessness result, divorce results. It's a nasty thing. If he demands union representation, the capitalists will fire and blacklist him. So if you organize, you could be blacklisted, especially internationally. As long as references are required and checked, blacklisting is a real thing. It's not just especially for laborers, because they force men to work. They prefer women not work. This would violate their notions of patriarchy. Let's go down. When men do work, they want the workers to accept the wage offered, as I've said, or what they can negotiate. If the worker's creative, the authoritarian capitalist insists that by being paid, the worker gives up all intellectual property, which they have to sign away, and that property is then owned by the owner or shareholders of the company. They buy the minds as well as the bodies of both women and men in the capitalist system. In practice, most capitalist shareholders receive what's called a normal profit. This means that the return that they can expect is just high enough to keep them from selling their shares for something else or at a loss. You get, if you're an institutional investor or you're doing it on your own and you're not management, they'll give you what you would otherwise earn from interest or another dividend, but they're not going to give you the big profits. Now, CEO compensation includes abnormal shareholding, including stock options, celebrity level salaries, and golden parachutes. Whatever they can get from directors, usually their cronies, to agree to. Any cost savings become bonuses, and you find that time and again. People announce a pay cut, and they also announce an executive bonus. So yeah, whatever they can get from directors. I need to put a from in this thing. So what does all this authoritarian compensation buy? Republican and neoliberal elected officials, and the masses in the pro-life, pro-Trump, pro-Putin movement. Trump is a Putin file. So if you and nowadays it's not the old Republican Party. This is it's still Donald Trump's party, which means it's still Vladimir Putin's party. So it is not only women's bodies the pro-life movement wants control over. They want men's bodies, minds, and souls, and the soul of the nation. They want good moral behavior in the bedroom and compliance at work. The pro-life movement has become national authoritarianism, as if it wasn't already. Led, of course, by certain conservative Catholic bishops, Paprocki. If you, dear reader, are pro-life and you disagree that you want authoritarianism, then support Build Back Better, raise the minimum wage, and support union rights. If you don't do these things, you're an authoritarian. You're not a libertarian. Well, you are a libertarian, but you're not an individualist. The two are different, very different. Of course, quite a few of you probably agree with authoritarian capitalism. You think it's actually a good thing. You love that world. As I have described, I have spoken online with enough of you to know this. Both and also on the radio program, on Blog Talk Radio, and and in various chat rooms. Admit it, so that the nation knows what it is voting for in November 2022. Own your vision and make sure your voters know what they are getting, which is essentially Putinism. So that's number 2. I'm sure if you're a Republican, you think it's number 2, but if you if it's about women's bodies, it's also about men's bodies, and it's all of our bodies and souls. So we've got to resist, and men have to resist as much as women do. Let's not have a gender gap. Let's have a real life revolution, not just a political one. And if you want to know how to get that, there's the Center for Fiscal Equity blog that talks about these things, both how to get it and what it would look like. And there'll be a Bednar Associates blog too that'll talk about how that would work on a day-to-day basis. So thank you much for your time. There's 2 more videos to go from earlier, for the week before, and then when the Alito draft was written.